A builder collapses with a $30 million defect bill. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from the Sydney Morning Herald that was sent to me by several viewers. Thank you very much. So, builder's collapse leaves apartment owners fearing alleged $30 million defects bill. And this is for, well, we'll look in a moment. This is for the Otto at Rosebery. You know, has lodged a claim for $20 million in alleged defects to a company that is now being wound up. So is it 20 or 30? We'll have to see. But regardless, I looked at this some time ago in October of 2019. This was balcony defects in Otto Rosebery. And you can see right here, it is one of the buildings that I consider in the triangle of fail, with Mascot to the south, Zetlands, and Sugar Cube. Right here is Otto Rosebery, and let's have a look. I mean, it's a nice big development, which is concerning. And we'll just jump in. Oh, look at it. We can go on the footpath. I mean, there you go. It's a lovely building. It looks nice, but that doesn't mean there's not defects hidden in. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Every single building is going to have defects. Don't think you can get away without having them. Buildings are unique works. It's not like a car or a mass-produced factory item. Even the mass-produced buildings that are produced in the factories will have defects and issues. That's why you have a defects liability period. A period for 1 year to 2 years in which, or you know, however long you want it to be, but normally it's 1 year, where you hold on to a portion of the money you pay the builder, and they don't get that unless they come and repair any defects that are identified during that period. It's the break-in time for a building. Yeah, that's what it's there for. And normally you have a architect administering the contract to identify or manage that process. So it's not, well, there's less risk of conflict of interest, like a body corporate in the way, hiding defects, or the body corporate company not wanting to report them, because then, you know, they may lose work with the next developer or next builder. So it can get really messy. But don't, you know, defects happen. It's just part of construction. But there should be a way to address it. And then again, you know, you haul generally about 5% of the fee, construction fee for a project aside. You get usually nowadays two bank guarantees, 2.5% each time. And you pay one at practical completion, the 2.5%, and then you pay the other at the end of the defects liability period. And if the builder refuses to come out and repair the defects, you can use that money, draw upon that, to repair the defects. And if the defects cost more than the money you have, then you can take legal action against them. But that all goes out the window if they fall under. That's the problem. It looks like it's happening here. So let's have a look at this. Hundreds of Sydney apartment owners are facing an uncertain future after the collapse of a company linked to the builder of the Opal Tower, with allegations that it collectively owes them $30 million to repair 7 defective buildings across the city. Okay, so it's not just Rosebery, it's 7 other defective. Oh wow, this is just. I can't say I'm surprised. I've been looking at these construction issues all around Australia for a couple of years now on my channel, and well, Otto Rosebery, it made it on the map, guys. It made it on the map as just one example. And there's lots of them there, and people reach out to me and tell me other stories and things where I need to verify with other parties to make sure it's all correct. Anyway, the revelation comes as another high-profile construction group, Ganalin, placed one of its companies into administration last week, midway through a court battle over defects, and only days after it was fined over the worksite death of a young apprentice. Ah, yeah, you gotta hear, yeah. That's sad. The case raises fresh questions about what is being done to address an epidemic in New South Wales of building companies being wound up during defects battles, leaving devastated apartment owners with nobody to sue. Well, maybe I did a joking video a while ago that we needed to go back to the old Babylonian building codes. Guys, I'll add that to that video for the penalties for dodgy builders in ancient Babylon. Icon Construction Australia was placed into voluntary administration in November. Administrators' documents name it as a related entity to Icon Co New South Wales, the company that built Sydney's cracked Opal Tower. At a recent creditors' meeting, it was revealed that the former of the companies is being chased over alleged defects in apartments it built at Rosebery, Waterloo, Hurstville, Bondi, Lane Cove, Greenwich and Five Dock. The most substantial of those is a $20 million claim from the owners of the Otto Apartments at Rosebery. The building made headlines last year when it was revealed that owners had been told it was unsafe to have more than 3 people standing on their balconies. Icon is pursuing legal action against the subcontractor that installed the balustrades. The total sum claimed by the 7 owners' corporations is $30 million. Icon Construction has rejected that estimate, arguing that the cost of repairing the defects would amount to only $2.3 million. Administrator Ben Verney noted the substantial disagreement between the parties in a December report. He said further detailed investigations would be necessary to resolve the issue and suggested apartment owners may be able to claim under their insurance policies. Mr. Verney said the company's last project was completed in 2017 and put its demise down to cost of managing defect claims since. I mean, here's the thing. You've got good builders don't want any defects because it's expensive. It eats up any profit that you may have on a job. And some of these jobs, the builders aren't raking it in, guys. It's pretty tight. They make their money by squeezing the subbies. Oh, I've seen it. Happened to me. You go in, put a fee in, they win a job, and they say, "Oh, we're only paying you this much." You got to decide if you're going to walk away and take legal action against them for stealing your IP or cop it. That's the way life is sometimes, guys. So, given it was no longer in receipt of income from its usual source, being construction projects, the company was reliant on funding provided by related parties, he wrote. Given the increasing volume of alleged warranty and defects claims, the appetite for continuing to provide funds had diminished and eventually ceased altogether. Oh, they wound it up. So they're shutting down this company. I mean, you'll see some of these developers and these builders, they'll set up a company just for each individual project. And when they go under, it's like 20 companies all wound up. It's crazy. It really is. And I mean, this sector has been heating up, everyone. The amount of apartment work that shot up in New South Wales and Sydney was just crazy. And all of Australia, guys, we've had this boom in it, and it overheats. It just overheats the construction. You've got less time. People cut corners. You've got to do things quick. And the old Australian attitude of "she'll be right, mate." That's how it manifests, guys, in stuff like this. But then again, that's not entirely fair, because often you've got people that are working on the sites that, well, in some of the projects, not here, but in other parts of the country where people can't even speak any English, and you wonder how they're qualified to do the work. Because, even putting up plaster and stuff like that, you may think it's simple, but you need to, if the wall has a fire rating, if it's a system that is critical to the life safety of the people in that building, you need to know what you're doing. You can't just get anyone to slap it up. It's in a complex multi-story building. It's very different. Guys, very different compared to, like a little house, or you're doing a little shop and just sticking up some plasterboard there. And you can kind of hide the dodginess with a bit of paint. Not in this. They're part of the complex systems usually. They're life safety features. And when you hear stories where people are working on site that need a phone app to translate into, well, English to their language, that's a bit concerning, isn't it? I've heard all of that. Mr. Verney said the company did not have any physical assets, and its value was likely to be a $1 million deficit before any deficit claims were paid. An Icon spokesperson said its track record demonstrated it was committed to working proactively to expedite any defects works in a safe and cooperative manner. Icon is committed to working constructively with all stakeholders on its projects in the interest of residents and owners, he said. While there is no legal obligation, we will continue to work with the Otto Owners Corporation and other stakeholders, and are confident we can resolve the issue. An apartment owner in one of the buildings, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, said she feared her strata scheme would now be saddled with a repair bill exceeding $1 million. It seems a bit ridiculous that the government has weakened legislation around building warranty periods and defects, and this is the problem. It has nothing to do with the government. Well, okay. You don't need the government to put a building warranty and a defects in. You need to buy a building that isn't built in a design and construct project. You need to buy a building where a developer will hold on to a portion of the building for a period of time or has some skin in the game for some time. They just chuck these things up and walk away. Phoenix at the companies, burn the companies. It comes down to a lack of consumer understanding, sadly enough, and they're calling on the government for more intervention. So now it's doing nothing to prevent large companies reining in on their responsibilities to owners, she said. The Ganelon Construction Group was founded in 1998 by building magnate turned television star Peter Manus. One of the entities traded for 22 years as Ganelon Proprietary Limited before changing its name to GDC Group in May and was placed in voluntary administration last week. All projects associated with this entity have been completed, occupied, and in use for over 2 years, and all employees and contractors connected to this entity have been paid in full, the spokesman said. It has no impact on any project under construction. However, administrators' documents reveal GDC Group has current court action against it and has now been left in limbo. David Oliver was stunned when his lawyers informed him the company had been wound up 3 days before Christmas. Mr. Oliver is a member of an owners corporation that has been pursuing GDC Group through the court since 2017 for over $1 million worth of alleged defects in a North Shore apartment block. We were meant to be heading to a settlement conference with them in February, he said. It is likely that the compensation claim will now be directed to the developer, Defence Housing Australia, which subcontracted Ganelon to build the block. Now they're left holding the baby, which is effectively the public purse, Mr. Oliver said. We're lucky Defence Housing isn't going anywhere. Mr. Oliver said the court proceedings have been prolonged by Ganelon's continual challenging of reports. Earlier this month, another arm of the Ganelon Group was fined over the death of apprentice formworker Christopher Casniti in a scaffolding collapse. They were ordered to pay $900,000 as part of a scathing court verdict. I mean, that's gut-wrenching. And this was written by Kerry Fulner and Nigel Gladstone. So, I mean, there we have it, everyone. Just a continuation of the saga in, well, the terrible quality of apartment constructions, which is happening in New South Wales. And we're just going to see more and more of it. This is going to take years to come out of the woodwork, everyone. I need to do a follow-up to see what's happening with the sugar cube, if people can actually occupy the bloody things yet. You know, there the issue was contaminated soil that wasn't taken off-site, that was put under the roads. And now they can't occupy the buildings. You know, and I remember Mascot Towers, we're all quite familiar with it. Zetland Apartments, well, you know, how are they going, everyone? I've done videos on all of these. Zetland. What, rain flooding through it, they were abandoned and just quietly there. No one wants to say anything because they don't want the value of their asset to plunge. Guys, it's a nightmare. And I'm shocked that people are still rushing to buy apartments in Sydney. Sure, they're taking a bit of a slice. But, I mean, I don't know. I guess I just don't have the confidence in buying these things. And let alone all, you know, there's not even any discussion about all the flammable cladding that's potentially on some of these things. Just the workmanship is so, well, they're cutting corners. They're doing it quick. They're just doing it quick because they don't have time. And sure, there's some builders you get that can do a really good job. But even in those builders, you get a mix and match depending on who works on the job. It's down to the people. You know. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan, let me know. And you want to support the channel, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time. Bye for now.